this to me every single time. Even when we talk about it, you go to these business dinners, you take me, and you make me feel ridiculous. I'm left there. I feel left out. I feel less than, and you do this every single time to me. I'm totally ignored. Me. You're going to blame me for this? You who begs to come to these dinners, you're going to blame me for this. This is going to be on me? You who can't handle these business dinners? And you're going to go ahead and make this one on me? I don't think so. This is about you. And they're off to the races. How many of you have ever had an exchange like that sometime in your lifetime? Every country is well known for a particular dance. We have Brazil that's known for the samba. We have Cuba that's known for the salsa, and Japan, the kabuki. And here in the United States, we are pretty well known for the Texas two-step. Every relationship has a dance. Every couple has a dance. Every friend has one. Siblings have one. Colleagues have one. We know when to push a button. We know when to pull back. We know when to give the silent treatment. And we know when to do that softball that's just going to blow everything up. This dance is called the communication misstep dance. How many of you would like to learn how not to misstep again? I have a system. It's called the one-word exchange system. This is where we take one word, exchange it for another, and transform relationships just one word at a time. I invite all of you to stop using the word you and exchange it for the word I when it's in the beginning of a sentence. You creates a sense of defensiveness in us. We actually know that two things happen in the body. We either cock a hip or we take a slight step back with our hands at our waist. Both of these are defensive moves because we feel like we need to defend ourselves, even when it's a compliment. You look great today. What did you hear? I know when I hear you look great today, I automatically think, oh my gosh, what did I look like before? Do I never look good? The one-word exchange system, taking you for I, would go like this. I love that blouse. Thanks. I was shopping the other day. I bought 5 of them in different colors. It takes defense down and you get a story. You get this beautiful story. Let's go back to my couple if they had used it. It might have looked like this. I feel so left out when we go to those business dinners. I know it's my fault. I know I'm the one who has anxiety, except I felt so ignored. I was really pretty angry last night, especially since we talked about it. Oh, you're right. I got nervous too. They're not my favorite things, but we did talk about it. And I did do that, and I am so sorry. Lousy reasoning, but I gotta tell you, I will try to do better. Now we have a conversation. We have a dialogue. We have two people that are actually listening to one another. They have moved from what I call the communication misstep dance to what I call the communication connection dance, with the exchange of one word. The next word also comes at the beginning of a sentence, and it's the why word. Why, you ask? Well, the why word actually does the same thing the you word does. It creates a sense of defensiveness. Why are you going to Mexico? The flights were cheap. I haven't had a vacation in a long time. Why are you wearing that shirt? Actually, it was the only one in the clean pile and I didn't have to iron it. We get defensive. Recently, I was asked to come do a large pitch for a corporation. They were trying to merge 2 divisions together and they weren't communicating well. I was in the boardroom with about 20 to 25 different people around the table, and the CEO walked in. He pulled out his chair, put it in the middle of the aisle. He crossed his feet and crossed his arms. I was right in this place where to talking about the reasons not to use a why question. Would this work on my wife? With a tweak or two, to be honest, it works in the business arena as well as in your personal life. It was about 2 minutes before I was finished and he got a phone call and he exited with a little wave up in the air. It was a week later when I got the phone call. Patty, do you want the good news or the bad news? The bad. These two divisions, we're going to let them go separately globally, and we're not going to need your services. I must admit my heart sank. Not only did I want the opportunity to help this company, I was looking forward to working with them. And then he said, but Patty, I think you changed my life forever. Wow, that's a big statement. Please help me understand what transpired. He said, Patty, my son and I beat heads every single time we talk. Every single time we talk, we are just going at each other, and we probably don't last 5 minutes in a conversation, let alone a room. When I left that day, I went home to my house, and my son's car was in the driveway. I sat there for a minute, and I thought, is Patty really right? Is it really about the why word, and does it create defensiveness? He said he went in, sat down at the table, and sure enough, here came the conversation. He took a breath, and he said, what leads you to decide on A and not B? What's the information that leads you to be in this arena, but not any of these other arenas? I could tell he was getting emotional, and when he came back, he had a quiver in his voice. And he said, Patty, you don't understand. My son and I talked for 4 hours that afternoon. We haven't had a conversation of 4 hours in the last 4 years. You changed the trajectory of our relationship forever. So I got the job, right? No. We talked for a little bit, we wished each other well, and we hung up. That's a relationship that went from a breakdown to a breakthrough with the exchange of one word, why, for any of the other whodunits. How many of you are excited to go out and try these not only on your colleagues, your loved ones, or your friends? And I invite you to do it, but I have one more. It's about the should word. The should word is actually a word of shame. And if there was ever a time we are shoulding on ourselves, it's right now. I should lose 10 pounds. I should exercise more. I should get out of bed. I should get off the couch. And when we don't accomplish those things, we feel like a failure. And failure creates a sense of shame, creates anxiety and depression. So I invite all of you to change the should word to I can, I need, or I want. I was teaching at a drug rehabilitation center, which shame is a big part of addiction. And so we were going to talk about it that day. And on the big whiteboard behind me, I had the word I should ... I asked this group of 8 guys that when they left that day to fill out the form, come on back the next day and we'd talk about it. And they did. Remember, when you're working in a group like this, we get to know each other pretty well. And I asked somebody to volunteer, and one of the gentlemen did. Now, this is a man who's not only the CEO, but the owner of a billion-dollar corporation. So I wrote on the whiteboard the 15 things he gave me. But it was the third one that very much intrigued me. I should go to college. Wanting to make a point and trying to think fast on my feet, I wiped off that whiteboard and I put another sentence that has two parts. If I wanted to, I could, ... And I asked him, do you want to go to college? No. Can you go to college? Of which somebody was pretty smart and said, shoot, Patty, the guy could build a university or buy a college. And we all laughed until I connected with my client. And he was practically in a fetal position in the chair with tears streaming down his face. And I asked him, what is happening? What is going on? Tell us what is happening with you. And he said, Patty, it was always my dad's dream that I go to college. At 16, 17, and 18, that's all he would tell me. And there it is. Shame. So you have been drinking and drugging all these years to numb that feeling of shame because you felt you needed to be living somebody else's dream and not your own. Again, that was a breakdown moment, and we took it to a breakthrough moment. One word exchanged. So how do we move something off of the should list? I want to own a $5 million house. Can I own a $5 million house? No. Do I want to own a $5 million house? Yes. If there is one no on either side of that, it moves off of the should list and goes on to another list. Should probably started when we were children. You should make your bed. You should eat your broccoli. You should get out of that tree. You should study more. You should go to exercise. You should, you should, you should, you should, you should. And by now you know, starting a sentence with the word you creates defensiveness. Should is a shame word. And it comes with the finger. No, not that finger, this finger. How many of you know that this is called the shaming finger? You should. So when we hear you should as an adult, implicitly we feel the finger in our chest or in our face. And it creates that sense of shame for us. I invite each one of you to take this simple one-word exchange and practice it on your loved ones, on your colleagues, on your friends. The one-word exchange can take relationships from a breakdown to a breakthrough. It changes relationships. It creates deeper meaning, more connection, more intimacy with those that you care about. Every human being wants to be seen, heard, or validated. The one-word exchange program will help people achieve that. I invite each one of you to exchange one word. The word you for I, exchange the word why for any of the other whodunits, and exchange the word should for I can, I want, or I need. These will transform relationships one word at a time. Who are you excited to transform a relationship with? A daughter, a grandson, a wife, a mother. Even if they are the healthiest of relationships, we will create deeper, more meaningful conversation. This system will transform lives one word at a time. It's simple, it's easy. Just exchange one word. Thank you.